So in the previous video, we had discussed about how to install the packages required for the analysis. We had installed tidyverse, dplyr, and ggplot2. And we had also imported these three libraries using library. To install these library, we had used install.packages and the library name we had given. And also we had done exploratory analysis of saying couple of first few rows, last few rows using the head and tail. In this video, we will see how to explore the given dataset quickly. So here, step two is to explore the dataset, right? So while exploring the dataset, before we perform any analysis, we should understand the dataset. So in what way we are going to understand? So we will check, right? We will check very first thing is to number of rows and columns of the data set, columns in the data set. The second thing we will do is column names and row names. The third thing is to data types of each column. The fourth thing we will check is statistics. Summary statistics. And also we will repeat same thing what we have done in the previous video is about checking get the first and last few rows already done. So you can do it using head and tail. So here let me insert a code block, and before proceeding any further, let me tell, in the previous video I had shown you how to insert the code block in the visual in the source block. In the source block, 1 minute, you can be in the source block, and wherever you want to insert the code block, you can just click on this one and click on R. It will insert a code block. The second way of doing is you can either use option command I will insert the code block. You can either use option command I, or you can either use the menu item. Whichever the code block you want to insert, you can do it here. So one by one steps, or one by one exploratory analysis things, what we are supposed to be doing, I will walk you across. So in order to check number of rows and the number of columns in the data set, we will be using dim. The data set name is data. So I'm taking this data from the previous assignment. Data is equal to empty cars. The data is holding the copy of the empty cars. So here dim of data will give us number of rows and the number of columns in the data set. So if I run this, you'll be able to see the data which holds the copy of empty cars is having 32 rows and 11 columns. And after seeing this, I would like to do the second thing, number of column names and the row names. For that, I will insert one more code block. So column names and the row names, right? So hash column names and the row names, row dot names of data will give us the column names, right? So all of these are the column names, row names, sorry. So as in the previous dim of data is returning us the 32 rows. Here also you can see this is the 31st row and this is the 32nd. Don't get confused like 1, 4, 7, 10, 13. So 1 is the index of this particular element in the output. So if this particular element, what is the row number of this particular element in the dataset is being told by the first index. So this becomes 5, this becomes 6, and duster becomes the 7. So don't get confused, like this is just giving what is the index of the first element in each row of the output. So we have seen column names and the row names. Here we are only seeing the row names. So let me just keep this comment as the row names. If I want to see the column names, again I am inserting the code block using the shortcut. Otherwise you can go with this menu item. So I want to check call names. So the call names goes like this. call names of data, right? Call names of data. On the right hand side, you can click this run button. You can see our data set is having 11 columns. Gear is the 10th column, carb is the 11th column. So the next thing we will have to do is data types of each column I need to check, right? So for that, the data type of each column, I will add one more block of the executable block, and I will add data set of each column. So the data set of each column can be checked using summary or structure of data. Okay, structure of data. And further, there is one more function to check the exact structure of data is. So let me add a comment, data type of each column. So we are doing str of data. So will give us the structure of the data. Here you can see we have 32 observation of 11 variables. The first column, what is the data type? Second column, what is the data type? All these columns are numerical. That means the values in each of these columns are numbers, right? So further, you can get to know about the summary statistics of this particular data set. You can do it using uh, summary of data. So summary is the function and data is the data set we are dealing with. It gives us column by column the summary of each column. It includes minimum and maximum, that is the range of the value in that particular column. What is the first quartile, what is the median, what is the mean, what is the third quartile value with respect to each column. We are getting like this kind of statistic for each column because each column is a numerical column. In case the columns, the different columns are of different types, we would have got the second column text, the third column factor, fourth column integer, something like that. The different output we would have got, because we have all the columns are numerical or the numbers. That's why we are getting minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile, median and mean for each column, whatever has been displayed here. So as the part of the second step, we got to know what is the dimension of the data set, how many rows and how many columns are there, what are the row names, what are the column names, and we have got to know the data type of each column and representative values of each column using the structure str command. And we have got to know the statistic of each column using the summary of data type. So in case if you're stuck, in case if you don't know what each of these functions does and what are the different parameters each of these functions can expect, you can anytime you can do question mark str. Okay, question mark str if I want to know. So it will take you to the corresponding the help page of that particular command. Okay, str coming from the utils library and entire documentation of this particular function along with all the default values and non-default values of this particular function we get to know. And interestingly, at the end of this page, you can get to know one or few good examples of demonstrating how to apply this particular function on the data set. This will give you kind of insight how to use this particular function while you implement your code. So this is it for this video. In the next video, we will try exploring further on this data set. We will see how to convert the numerical variable to categorical variable, because we basically are doing the visualization using a group by command. Here in this particular data set, we don't have any grouping variable because all the variable are numerical one. We need to convert any one particular column as the grouping variable. Based on that grouping variable, we need to visualize the graph which we are going to construct. See you in the other video. Thanks for watching.